Pablo, I'm gonna go and visit Camilo in prison. I talked to Roberto and he says, well, that he isn't doing well.
Right. Well, I thought it would be the opposite since he's getting out of prison soon.
It's not gonna be that easy for him to rebuild his life from scratch. I think he really needs me to support him.
Julia, it's fine. It's okay. You don't have to explain anything.
I know, but I just needed you to know.
And thank you. Thank you for...
Hey guys, good to have you back here. This is SAD Media. Thank you for logging on to my YouTube channel. So a quick one review on the last episode on Laura of the Heart. This episode started with Maria the Christian and Kaba Otega's associate and called to see another. She actually has an appointment to see him concerning her forthcoming marriage. We also have Mrs. Alma at the reception waiting to see Elias. So afterwards, she gets to see Mr. Enado, not even without reminding or telling Carmen that she did not like the magazine at the reception, that she would have preferred gossip magazines and other magazines of more interest. And well, Carmen eventually promises her that okay, in that case they would definitely get that, and the next time she comes into the law office she would get to see those magazines. Now it is time for Mrs. Amma to see Elias, so she gets to meet him and tell him she's ready to file for the divorce, or she's ready to divorce like her husband Fabio had said, instead of taking any psychiatric test as suggested by the judge in the last hearing of their case. On this, Mr. Elias actually had to ask her some of the reasons why she's so much involved in cosmetics, surgery, and they talked about a lot about all this, that could possibly be insecurities and other things where she feels that her husband hasn't really shown in the past that he loves her, though he mentioned it the other day. He hasn't said things like he likes her and other things. So those may actually be some of the reasons why she's decided to enhance her natural features, and even though it is leading her to a divorce which she's not so happy about, but she has no choice at this time. She really needs, that's what she wants to do. She even said if possible she could have more surgeries done to her body. I'm like, what? Okay, now back to Pablo. Now back to Nado and Maria the Christiana. They're talking about the agreement. She's so excited about her forthcoming wedding. Number 4 husband, like this could be her number 4 husband. And she's so happy about the forthcoming wedding. She wants to draft an agreement or something, so they're really thinking of them the best that would be very suitable for her in the long run, so that when any of them want to opt out of the marriage, there is really nothing much for the other person to lose, but they just want to make it in a way that it would be okay for her. All right, that being said, they talked about the reason why she's been divorced, what happens, and then what happened in the previous marriage, the reasons for her divorce, and how she feels about the men. She has really great story to talk about being divorced, and to see that she's so happy. She's so happy with, she doesn't even, like she always says, well, that's her way of life, and she enjoys being okay. On her way, as she was about to leave, she gets to see Pablo, and yes, an opportunity for her to now have a conversation with Pablo. She tells him about the fact that Camilo would be leaving the prison, the jail, very soon, and if he's aware of that, she knows Julia is not so excited about this situation, and then she wishes she eventually lets the cat out of the bag. She wishes Pablo would be yes, the person for her, but all the same, Camilo, like she already said, is a very strong-willed person, and her in the first place, she even convinced Julia to marry her in a 6 months, within a window of 6 months. Was really, so even when they were not ready, the father wasn't ready, he was so bent on getting married to her, though she feels Julia needs more time, and that is the time the incident has actually created for them. Now, like, I was just smiling. I was just smiling. Obviously, Pablo too is not ready to let her go. He wants to put and see how much he would go with this. And the Ortega girls and the Elias, they are on a date. Hada Itabe came to meet her and they had a conversation, and then she misses Elias. Like I said in the last episode, she actually confirms to Julia that she misses Elias. So Elias wanted to take the girl's heart. So now she's ready to go on a date with Elias, Maria Di Paola and Catalina. So they are on a date at the restaurant as usual. Well, not as usual. In the last 3 days, Catalina hasn't been so happy because Gabriel hadn't called her after she assumes they had a very good time, and that was the beginning of a relationship for her. Anyway, Elias had to ask Kata what the issue is. She just spent it out without even any reservation, and behold, everybody burst into laughter. And then Maria Palau gets in down like she doesn't really understand why they have to act that way, like that 19th century women, when they're the 21st century, who believes that anytime you go out with a man, the next thing is that it's for marriage, that they should please get some life and have fun without any expectation, like they actually had to talk between that. And also in the same event, she did not forget to remind, to tell them that they are aware that Pablo and Julia, they are having dates, that they are dating because Kata because Maria Di Paola, like boss lady, the great Miss Gracious, she would not cease to amaze each and every one of us. Okay, Emina and Rosa, they are having lunch, they're having a conversation on the happenings, what they think, what they've seen, what they think about the relationship between Julia and Pablo. And eventually Emina comes to the conclusion that she believes Pablo is in love with Julia. And also Rosa confirms that if before now there was nothing before then, she believes eventually now that there's something between them. And then Himena confirms that, well, she's the cause of the break in marriage and she isn't really happy with the whole situation. So at the restaurant, Elias gets to see Isabel with a guy, and for no reasons, I don't even understand. He wants to be the Jackie Chan of all times, like the great husband protector. He gets to see her with a young lad at the restaurant. He went there without even asking anything, gets to hit the guy. O'Shea, the guy who could not even hit him back. And I'm wondering, like, eventually they claim, oh, is Isabel's nephew, and I'm wondering how and why they did not get to know each other if they've been married for so long. Like, how would your nephew not know you? But it is what it is. So Elias has a punch on his face. They get back to the office and they're having the conversation. He mentioned something like, even to me it sounded very well, trust Miss Gracious to leave him to his face. She left angry, like, why would you mention such a, why would you say because you have the right to misbehave or mess up because you are a man? For real, because we all claim, or they all claim, that it is men's word. Okay, I'm so glad the way she just left them in there. All right, that being said, eventually Elias gets to advise Catalina that when you want to go out or have a serious thing with anybody, do not have a good time with them on the very first date. I think that's it. Where, yeah, that's it. Okay, now Nick has a guest. Obviously, this is where he gets it from, that the father is harassing women at the elderly home. I'm like, now we know where Nicholas get his what's it called, of liking women from. So it's a paternal inheritance. Is that the right word I'm supposed to use for him? Obviously it's not the laughing issue. Well, though he also saw it like some kind, but the guest said, well, they may be forced to push him out of the home, and he's a bit worried, like he feels that should be the best place for him. So he asked him, Pablo, to kindly help him in finding a solution so that they would not chase or pull his father away from the home. And Julia, now Alfredo gets to know that Julia and Pablo have a thing, though he's surprised, but not so surprised after Pablo explained everything to him. And Pablo concluded that Julia is the woman of his dreams and he wouldn't let her go so easily. Roberto gets to call Julia and remind her that Camilo is worried about her. She hasn't seen him for some days. She hasn't seen him for some days, and he's worried. This is about the time he would be leaving the prison and the time he needs her the most. She agrees to go see him. She agrees to go see him in prison. Then Pablo and Nick discuss about me. Okay. Then Mr. Marcos, one of the intended or potential lawyers in the Calba associate, visit Nicholas, and yes, Nicholas had said he was going to hire. They needed a new criminal lawyer, and he feels he's the best fit for the role. Then Julia is in a fix. Anyway, not without going to tell Pablo that she plans on visiting Camilo in prison, and they had a discussion around that. Obviously, Julia is in a very confused state, but I would say to a very large extent she prefers Pablo as a spouse. So, are you following up with us on this episode? Yes, or on this series? Can you let me know what you think in the comment section? I'm your girl, that. Until I come your way again, please kindly subscribe if you have not. Still have a very, very pleasant time. Bye.